And then there was one. Boat number one, our team of the year leaders, Evan Adler, Shane Loney, Austin Crum. They need 18-6-1 to win the championship. Stick them on there, buddy. 19.31. Wow, way to go, guys.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hook One Pod. Hey, we're back. Holy, we're back, and it feels good. We're back for one reason and one reason only, and that is to celebrate with not only the champions of the Michigan Walleye Tour, but also the team of the year. What's up, boys? Welcome in.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, not too bad. You're not as talkative as we just were.
We will be. We'll get there.
We've spilled all the beans in the last hour here before we started recording, but we've left plenty to go. So we've got Evan, Shane, Austin. We're going to break down their entire Michigan Walleye Tour season, starting with the Detroit event, going all the way through the championship. We're going to talk about some things that set every tournament apart. We're really going to talk about some things that you guys have learned. Shane, I just had the pleasure of meeting you really the last couple of years. I've known these guys really since I started fishing, and that was something I talked to Evan, and these guys have been like 1 and 2 since I've known them. So it's been really cool I think you put it in your post. It wasn't about like the checks. It wasn't about the trophy,
right?
But put it together. What was that like?
That's what I've always said. It's just seeing my biggest thing was like the growth, and you can't always see the growth. Mm-hmm. But when we finally win a tournament and you're like, okay, that's a check, that's a trophy, and that's like a pretty big deal. And it's like a physical thing that we're able to see, and that shows like how much we've grown. So
yeah,
I've always been like a visual learner. That's kind of like what it means to me. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. And we've seen it. I mean, you're guiding, right? You've got your guide service. We fish with you guys all the time. You're doing a lot of the pre-fishing on your own, like you said. And we see the growth as like friends and stuff. Like I see you guys grow, you see us grow, we see, our friends, but you don't really see it yourself, or it's hard to prove it to yourself. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good way to prove it. We should have the trophies right here.
Yeah, I know. I forgot those at home. You said to bring them. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot those, but that's all right. Yep.
So this is year what?
3.
Third year we fished together for the full tournament.
I would say full season. 5th year fishing. Michigan Walleye Tour tournaments. Yeah, we did like a couple here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we never did the full season.
That's where it kind of dipped the toes, though, and realized, okay, we can compete, on a good level. You know what I mean? And these guys took a couple top 10s and stuff, and we were really close on a couple others. So it's okay, that's where it was like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah, starting out in a 16-foot aluminum boat. Doing good. These guys are probably
in the bathtub.
Who are these guys?
Yeah,
in the old bathtub.
The
16-foot tiller, the tuna can.
Yeah, the tuna can, top 10 in Saginaw.
And but that's what it is proving it to yourself. Because it's you see all the guys that when we were younger, because we're getting there, but when we were younger, you see all the raft boats, you see all the big trucks coming in, and it is a little intimidating. And it's you can go out there. Yeah, it still is 100%. But it's you can go out there and do it, and it's addicting, man. I've dipped my toes into a few tournaments this year. I'm thinking about doing a few more next year. We'll see.
You should
with the God, dude, it's a lot of fun, and that's one thing that's really impressive with you guys is you guys have done it. It's you don't have to have. Don't take any offense to this, but it's you don't have to have the newest boat, the craziest gear. You don't have to have all the sponsors. You don't have to have the biggest team. You guys just went out and freaking did it, dude.
I'm going to tell you a little snippet about that about Evan. Evan is one of the most simple people you'll ever meet. He's got 2 hummingbirds on the boat. He doesn't even turn on for tournament day. For maps, he goes back and forth on the Garmin between live scope and the map.
I like the Garmin maps.
Better than
right. The hummingbirds.
Right. I'm my hummingbirds got fired this year.
Yeah. But he does that, and that's really all it is. You don't have to have 3 graphs on the front of your boat to do well.
My 10-inch took a crap, and they're hummingbirds talked to them $500 to fix it. I'm like, I probably do without 2D. But I can see 2.
You're gonna make a big portion of people mad.
No, I
just need live scope, you guys.
I can see 2D on my 7-inch. Fine.
Right.
Yeah. It's just I don't have the 10-inch, which actually helps a little bit better. But when I'm running, I can still run 20 miles an hour with my 7-inch and still see fish. and 2D scan that way.
Time on the water.
So it's not
like, you know.
It's not like I need
slow down. There they are.
Yeah, I don't need both, but I just need to know, like, when I'm running around, like the water temps, if I'm going to hit a break.
Yeah.
And where it's going to change. So I'll leave them on for that. But like mapping, I don't use that much of the Hummingbird mapping.
No, I even have a chip in mine. I'm just like really bummed out about it. But it's just like a good lesson because to be honest with you guys, like I'm the guy that sells bait and like I see where the industry's going. Like it's freaking expensive. It's hard to like continue to just like keep up with the Joneses, I guess is like the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, you don't have to. You just want to go out there, put a game plan together, have fun, right? Like I'm sure there were not many tournaments where you guys were just like stressed. Like obviously they're stressed, but it had to be fun.
Come on,
That's my buddy Tyler Pulley said, just go fishing, man.
We try.
Just go fishing.
But then we're still
Tyler just goes fishing.
365.
Yeah, literally.
We're competitive though, and if we like when I fish, I get mad if I'm not catching fish, and if I didn't get mad, it would probably show to me that I'm not as in it as I would want to be.
Passionate. Just passionate.
Passionate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're there to win, and it's we're gonna get into all that, but it's not a cheap endeavor. I mean, there's minus the tournament fees alone. You know, you've got everything else. You've got all your baits, your gas, your Airbnbs, your places to stay, launch fees, stuff like that. I mean, it gets expensive.
It adds up
so you do it for the love of it. I mean, plain and simple, it's for the love of it.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's start, guys. Tournament number 1, April 11th and 12th, Detroit River out of Lake Erie Metro Park. You guys finished 9th with 59.82. Day 1, you guys weighed 26.49. Day 2, 33.33. You obviously figured something out overnight. Did you get like a secret phone call?
Teammates did better trolling, and so we figured we'd go and do that.
You got to know how to be diverse, especially in Detroit, because I mean, we grew up fishing Detroit. That was like my number one place that I grew up fishing and learned how to fish the Great Lakes. It was Detroit and St. Clair River. So being that I guide there and fished it, so I don't know what year we're on now. 2012 may have been like the first year I fished it.
Yeah.
But knowing that like every day is so much different. Like I'll have people call me for a trip to like, how was the fishing? I'm like, it was good today. But if we go back there tomorrow, the fish they move so quick through that river system that you got to be able to adapt and figure out where the heck they're going. And you got to look at them and you catch a female. Are they spawning? Are they already spawned out? Like if they're spawned out, those fish are heading out.
Still holding good?
Yeah, they're out.
If they're not holding good, then you probably should think about some backups. If they're holding good, they might stay there for, I mean, on the most, I've seen them there for like 2 days max.
And it depends if it's April 1st or if it's like April 12th, you know?
Yeah. That, which is
I mean, you guys, where you catch it right there, like the second-ish week of April, a lot changes between that first and second week of April as far as wind, rain, and then obviously your temperatures are going to start to spike.
Water temps,
dirty water.
Dirty water pushing fish up because the water spike came up, or wind blowing out of the south from Lake Erie, creating a current going up, pushing fish up into it.
I think that helped us day 2 because we were right on the south end of the river, and the bite picked up right at the very end, and the wind really started blowing out of the south. And there's a couple other guys who said that too. And we caught our last pass in Detroit. We caught an 8.5 pounder and like 1 or 2 more upgrades as well on like the last couple passes.
It was like
I think they're literally coming in.
Day 1 we jigged and we were pretty close to the mouth of Lake Erie. And we got back in. We didn't do as best as we honestly would hope for. But everyone that was trolling was catching bigger bags. So you got to think, okay, those fish are pushing up in or they're going out. But either way, there's fish right at the mouth. So I'm like, okay, day 2, let's at least throw some trolling stuff in so we can fall back on it. So we went out and we jigged first. And, I mean, we caught fish, but it was nothing to –
Right. Well, it's a totally different presentation. Bigger baits, louder baits, right? Like he brings up dirty water. It's like you're just giving yourself more chance, and you have more rods in the water.
Yeah, that too. A lot more rods helps, especially if it's a jigging tournament. I mean, I only fish 1 rod. I know a lot of guys fish 2, but I lose focus I miss fish.
I don't have enough pebbles up here to keep them.
I get
Give me one.
Too. But these guys back, they'll run 2, but I'll just, if I'm running the motor, I run 1. And then
that's the thing about trolling too in the dirty water. That's why people handline when it gets dirty is because you're going slow. You know, you're going 1 mile an hour upstream as opposed to 3 miles an hour. You know, your bait is in front of that fish for
a lot lower.
Yeah.
They can see it.
Now for guys up here, like especially like the St. Clair River guys, is that current down there? Like explain that a little bit because it's got to be a lot slower, right? Because like there's not a lot of spots up here I could really imagine doing that.
It just depends. I mean, if you get like into like a cut or like a basin, like where it kind of cuts in and it creates an eddy, it'll slow down. When you go down the middle of the river, it's the same as St. Clair. It's quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the edges, but if you like St. Clair.
Well, I guess for those of you that have never been to the south end of the Detroit River, it is. And you're up from the St. Clair system, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. Like Ballard's Reef South is absolutely incredible.
Nothing we have on St. Clair. It's
incredible.
St. Clair is more of a straight channel, and then when you get down to the south end of Detroit, you start getting those islands, and it really breaks the current up and starts creating a million different seams that these fish can sit in.
Yeah,
and you can get away from people better down there too because there's different little spots. Like we do well like mid-river, but like mid-river on tournament day there's 100 boats.
Everyone goes mid-river on a Saturday.
Right.
So
right, because we had good fish going and pre-fish mid-river by the bridges, and it's like you go up there on tournament day, there's 100 boats sitting there, and it's like that's not going to work because that boat pressure totally shuts them off.
And that's a really interesting point because like when I fished the MWT tournament once, and I fished another tournament out of there in Detroit, and because being where we're from, and even you guys too, like we grew up fishing upper river a ton. For the longest time, I'd never gone below. No, I'd never gone below the Ambassador.
Pasture.
And so if you, and there's giants up there, and like a lot of our friends fish upper river, so like, hey, there's big fish up here, yada yada.
My biggest fish has been from the Cowpasture still.
On tournament day?
Not on tournament day, just in general.
In general. But on tournament day, it's tough to justify because it's a 7 a.m. launch. You're not getting all the way up river. You're going over a ton of big fish to go try and get those ones. And the locals have been out there since 5:30 in the morning beating them in the head. Yeah. So it's like that is something totally different too. And
the Cowpastures always had like a little bit smaller grade of fish depending on the month or the week you're in the month. Mm-hmm. So like if you start off in like the beginning of April, it can have some bigger fish just depending on the day.
Yeah.
Not the week, the day. Like one day there's big fish there, the next day there's not. Kind of like everywhere. But
like you said,
but it's like that. But on average, you get a lot of 4 and 5 pounders is what's coming out of the cow pasture.
Well, and that's
still pretty solid. But.
Well, and that's the crazy thing about Detroit is you could be on 5-6 pounders and you don't have a freaking shot. Dude.
Exactly.
Unless you get a kicker, like you don't have a shot. I mean, 59.82, you guys almost did average 30 pounds each day, and you top 10, but it's like still that gap between 9 and 1 is pretty big, and that is a very, very tough tournament.
I was gonna say that's the hardest tournament in my opinion. I think to win.
I agree,
just because of how
there's so many
change so quick. I mean,
there's so many big. I mean, they're real in reality. Like there are a ton of big fish. Like there's at any given day there's 4 or 5 spots that have big fish. But like you said, because of the river pattern, like they don't hold. Yeah. So you could be on big fish on Thursday, and then that's why it cracks me up when people are like pre-fishing the whole week
straight.
I'm like, what are you following them up, dude? You could go out there on Thursday and Friday, and I get it. Like, it's an excuse to fish. Count me in. Like if I can say I'm pre-fishing, I get to fish all day. Like I'm in.
Yeah. But and some areas do kind of hold them, and it's nice that when you do fish for that long pre-fishing, it's nice if you do catch them Monday and Tuesday, like. Then you can go back and check it Thursday and Friday and see if they're there.
Or know that spot at like one point held big fish.
Right.
So you have at least some confidence in it.
But like you're getting at though, really Thursday and Friday are really the ones that matter for pre-fish in Detroit.
And the conditions matter so much. I mean, that dirty water can get pushed down into Detroit and down into the south end of that river so fast.
And then when it comes to our pre-fishing, me and Crum always fishing on my boat, and then Shane always fishes on his boat. And then we'll break apart. Like Shane, he's better at trolling, so we'll have him go check some trolling spots out like one day, and then me and Crum will go jig like mid-river, and then the next day we'll jig from mostly like the south end, and kind of go from there. And
it's a lot of water to cover, dude.
Yeah, looking at the wind forecast.
The wind forecast. Yeah,
and then hope it's right.
East,
hope it's
east winds. Strong east winds probably gonna make it dirty.
Seems to hit right before.
It really does.
Yeah, it's been a couple years now. We've definitely dealt with some brutal conditions down there. Yeah. But I mean, overall, like it's a good tournament, dude. 60 pounds.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
top 10
pounds a day is what you need to do good.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Going back to the pre-fishing just real quick, where it does hurt you when you fish for 5 days is you catch one on Monday and you get stuck on that.
Yeah.
You know, even if you go back and on Thursday, Friday, and you don't get them, you're like, oh, but I got a good one there on Monday. And that doesn't just go for Detroit. That goes for everywhere, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, it's like them fish, like if they're gone, they're gone. It's probably not loading back up again.
The only time I say when fish stay a little bit better is summer patterns.
Yeah.
They kind of like they're there. Okay.
And that I think depends on the fishery because like we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but like those fish, dude, in Alpena, those fish that we were fishing, them things are on the move, dude. You're trying to scope them and they're on the move. So
yeah, that has to do with water temp too.
Yeah. When they're migrating, it's just
it's like they're on the move. So the second tournament, May 2nd and 3rd out of Saginaw Bay, out of Linwood. That's a fun tournament. Unfortunately, Saginaw Bay, you have to deal with the wind.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. So day one, you guys weighed 23.57. It puts you in 5th place.
Right.
Feeling pretty good after day one. What was your outlook on day 2? Were you guys on that? What are we thinking here?
We didn't know. I mean, after day one, like this goes again, like, okay, we have 23 pounds and it's May. Like, I don't know if that's going to be good enough to get us where we need it.
Yeah.
And surprisingly coming in and like, okay, guys aren't catching them as good as we thought they were going to be. I mean, we had fish during pre-fishing. They definitely moved around.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting in 5th, we're like, okay, we had to bounce around a little bit day one to find some fish. I don't know if we'll be able to do that again quite often, but really we don't know. We can go back to those spots. They could be loaded.
Right. Yeah. And we were looking at the wind forecast and we're like, man, it's really going to be blowing and it's going to make it tough.
It was coming out of the northeast.
It was, yeah. It was
east, northeast,
pushing pretty good.
And like that's, got the blow day and we're looking at it and like, I hate to say it, but we're kind of like, man, it wouldn't be the worst thing if it was a blow day tomorrow.
That's part of tournament fishing, dude.
Yeah.
That's the draw.
I don't like to beat my stuff up either. They know how I am on that. I mean,
yeah.
No, in Saginaw Bay, I mean,
my back is
still sore from that tournament we just did. So it's like in north and an east wind. There's nowhere. The problem is there's nowhere to hide. You can't even run over to the east shore. You can't escape.
Right.
So
it's everything you got in your equipment.
And that's the thing with like we were talking about that with what you go back to the expenses of tournament fishing. It's like, ideally I don't break all my stuff. You know what I mean? Ideally I don't have to replace my trolling motor and the elbow unit in front of my live well. And
yep, gotta find one of those now.
I don't even know what's wrong with mine yet. We'll get into that and
throw it in the water.
I know the batteries were trashed.
Oh, they're good now.
Yeah, they are.
Fix that, so we're good.
That is true. So yeah, day 2 was a blow day, and you guys landed in 5th place. So that was big time. Because what has been your best finish on the tour?
That was it.
Up until that point.
6th, 7th?
7th in Saginaw.
Yeah, and that was your.
I was not with them.
And that was 2 in a row. So though you guys finished last year strong. See, this is sloppy producership. I should have had a little bit of last year.
No, it's fine.
You guys finished last year strong.
What were we?
And you
5th last year.
5th last year?
Yes.
The year before that, first year, we were 7th.
6th.
Yeah,
it went 6th and 5th. Yeah.
Okay, so still, we've been pretty consistent at least keeping like a top 20 finish in every single tournament.
Yes,
to the best we can.
Yeah,
so
100%. I mean,
so tough.
Yeah, and the field is loaded. Like you got to understand, the field is loaded, and every single spot has locals. Like Saginaw Bay, especially the Michigan Walleye Tour, like it's the Saginaw Bay Walleye Club. So you're in their backyard. That's tough fishing. With that being said, I mean, we know when places come home, it can sometimes fishing your local water on a tournament can be brutal. You talk about fishing memories. Mm-hmm. Forget about catching one on Monday. I caught one here in 2006. I'm going back.
That's
a big fish spot.
That's the definition of the St. Clair River for us. Like they were here 8 years ago.
They gotta be here now.
Why the heck aren't they here? What the heck?
I will say 100%. Like that's the same. Like St. Clair's a perfect example where like I'm caught in the rut. So like the river bat, not to get off track of this, but like the river bash.
We can get off track. Yeah. We can talk about Lake St. Clair and like.
Hey, don't be giving away too many secrets. We got.
Hang on, we'll finish this and we'll get back. But I was gonna say for the river bash, we had 3 out of towners, like 3 people that were from not the area come in and win it. 2 of them were from up north.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, that just goes to show you, like we were sitting on what we knew.
We fall back on our old spots way too much, and I've been trying to break from that, and it's so hard to do that though.
Yeah.
And I kind of started this year, like living in St. Clair, like before when we were growing up. I'm like, all right, we're fishing out of Marine City today. And that's like the furthest we would go.
Yeah.
We wouldn't go north. No. And now this year, I'm like, thinking about it, I'm like, I've never really fished too hard between St. Clair and Port Huron.
It's incredible.
Like, maybe we should start looking at that because that actually looks better on a map.
It's good fishing, man. It's really good fishing. And not a lot of guys fish up there. But again, I think like we're so stuck in our ways. Like I just hear it. I hear it at the shop and I'm the same way. And like this year I made it a point to myself, if I'm not guiding or if I'm not trying to find fish to guide, I'm not fishing spots that I've ever fished before. Bash week specifically, I really wanted to fish during Bash week because the week, 4 days leading up to it were nice. And then, classic. Gets a little nasty, but I wanted to fish it, and I dedicated it to I never fished a spot that I have fished before.
Right.
I'm gonna go fish all these new spots, and a lot of them I struck out, like a ton of them. But there were like a few spots where I got into some nice numbers of fish, and I got into some nice size of fish.
You're like, wow, there's kind of fish all over.
How have I not seen this? I drove past it.
You drive past all the time. You look at the shoreline. You're like, that probably looks good, and then you just keep going.
Yes.
You never fish it. And then
I'm going to the X. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, damn.
I got a report over here from 2 days ago. They caught them. So that's where we're going.
Well, that bait shop's a curse. If I ever fish a tournament on St. Clair, I'm putting earbuds in because I just hear people all the time coming, they're over here, they're over there. I'm like, just stop. Too much information.
You're in the right spot for
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Tough. See, I will say, so madness.
I pulled them. I dropped that. You know what I mean? That's fishing. You're in the fish. Let's get to that because that's something we talked about when we were up north for this last tournament is a spot on a spot or what you're actually looking for in a tournament because madness, that's what we found.
Right.
We didn't find a spot on a spot. We found good fish.
Right. Yeah, we did. And going into madness, this is what broke me from fishing stuff that I had.
Second place finish in madness for these guys, by the way.
Yeah,
for those two, not me. I wasn't there.
You were there. You were there.
I was there in spirit.
Going into madness, like this was the first, I'd say, true year that I forced myself to figure out the Canadian side of Lake St. Clair. Because I'm always just like, you just find fish on the American side. We don't got to go 20 miles across the lake to find these fish over here, which I didn't ever know it that good. So going back on like not knowing or knowing like past experiences, it was like a clean slate for me going out there. I mean, we worked with you and Cody, which was really helpful.
Yeah.
And we were able to bounce like, okay, I found fish here. I found fish here. And then we kind of went back on that. But it wasn't like, okay, we pull up to a spot. If I'm not catching fish, I'm like, well, let's go over here because I caught him here 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
Nope.
Because I would never fish it. So I'm like, let's go try over here. And then no fish here. Okay, this looks all right. Let's go try this. Let's look at the water temp. Let's look at the clarity of the water, the mud line. Where is that sitting?
That was a crazy tournament because we found our best bite by far in the mud, like the dirtiest stuff you could find. Yeah. And there were guys trolling ocean blue water that were weighing 30+ pound bags.
They were.
Like, wow. This is crazy.
Yep. And we're sitting in this mud that if you don't get it right on top of their face, they're not even going to see it to eat it.
That madness tournament like lit a fire because I couldn't. There were times. Especially when that storm came through.
Yeah, those storms.
Like the beginning, it was what it was. You know what I mean? We were catching fish. We were just waiting for the right bites. And then those storms came in. And then once it got windy, Cody was actually doing much better up on the bow. And I was getting the baits there. I was just having trouble like hitting them right on the nose. You know what I mean? And that like,
I don't know why. I was just plucking those fish. When that wind picked up, I was still on them. I'm like, I'm usually not like this.
Well, you guys went with a better tactic because I couldn't move. So what did you guys do when the wind picked up?
The big motor.
The big motor.
Big motor got some hours put on it this year.
We ain't got power brakes.
Bumper and forward.
I looked over at one point, so like that lightning like cracked, right? And this is about the size of my pedestal. So I'm sitting there and I got my hood up and I'm just trying to get them, but I'm not making any ground, right? That fish is at 70 foot and I'm just like on 12 trying to get them. And I look over, and Austin standing up behind the windshield, giving it this. And Evan's up on the bow. I looked up twice. Evan's up on the bow. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm like not catching up to this fish at all.
Yeah.
It's just
Crumb's a freaking master.
I'm just like,
It's so
God.
surprising. If you looked at my graph from that tournament, we maybe fished like an eighth of a mile circle. It could have been smaller. It was tiny. I just kept
The
doing
thing
circles.
that burns the worst
Yeah.
is for the longest time that day, it was Jake Trombley and his team who finished first, barely.
Yes, and that was
how much?
That was
0.02.
0.02. Let's not talk about that. But
Congrats, Jake and Pete and Chris.
that was so like interesting to me because we had that spot where like, all right, okay, we got my pin here. We're gonna start here. Pull up. Jake's sitting directly on my pin. I'm like, he found these fish. I'm like, oh great. He's a good fisherman, so I know now we got to compete against him.
Right.
Like,
good
for him.
And Schaefer's good.
They're one
Schaefer
of the
just
hard
won
teams.
this one.
Yeah, they're a hard team to beat because they're really good. I'm like, okay, those guys are going to catch them. I'm like, if there's fish here, we should be able to catch them. Pete should be able to catch them. We should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we're just going to see.
And we did catch them. Like, dude, we came in with 28.5 pounds. Like
Which
any
is-
other year that almost wins it. But
I
I
was gonna
knew
say-
what you guys had.
For people who don't know, what was the biggest bag?
28.9. Yeah, on 6 fish, the biggest bag was like 28.9 pounds. But after pre-fish this year, we were talking with our good friend Mike, and we were like, dude, I really think.
I'm talking about like the biggest bag that won the tournament and passed.
Yeah, I think it was only like 29
Okay,
pounds.
so
I
it
don't
wasn't
even
a
think
lot.
30, yeah.
I don't even know
30.
if they hit 30, or maybe they hit 30 because we were talking about 30-pound bags, and I told Mike, I'm like, Mike, there's gonna be over 10 for sure, and he's like, I think so. I was like, I know so,
Which is crazy. And then me and Crum were like, we were thinking we had like 35, 36. I'm like, this is the biggest bag that will by far ever come into this tournament. I'm like, we got to be
a whole 7-pound fish,
Yeah,
basically
we
5
got to
pound.
be doing pretty good. I was think. So
When we took off, you guys were already out of there. You're like, we got our fish. We're out because the wind did pick up. When we took off, Jake and them guys, they were packing up at the same time, and we took off, and they just kind of motored out of there. And I like looked back, and I'm like, they're either having motor trouble or they got an absolute bag because they're going slow. And I had talked to on the way in, we had talked to another buddy of ours that was like, dude, our so and so has 31 pounds. They're doing pretty good. I was like, dude, the guys we just fished next to had 35 pounds. And he's like, oh, you were on like those fish. And I was like, yeah, I wish we could have connected a couple more times.
they're there.
But it was, and that was perfect timing because that was right after Saginaw Bay. That was what, 2 weeks after Sag Bay?
Also do too.
Great,
yeah. That was good. That kept our momentum going. So I mean, that felt good to do good in that tournament, especially.
That's a big tournament for us too.
You know,
a lot of
home
people.
body waddy tournament. I mean, you always want to do good at home. That's like what I say Detroit. I'm like, we always want to. Winning Detroit would probably be they're the only tournament that I would look forward to winning the most.
Madness.
I mean, I look forward to winning all of them.
Yes,
if we can.
Charlevoix was
They're
cool,
doing good, but
it wasn't Detroit.
yeah, it's like that Detroit just hard. And then like here,
the championship and team of the year was cool, but it wasn't Detroit.
It's just like the home tournament, so you just got something to it.
And
I mean,
Detroit's
we
that.
grew up here.
Detroit is like that tournament of the year. There's a bunch of hype leading up to it.
Oh, yeah.
There's 150 boats guaranteed. They could probably do 200 boats if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like it's
They definitely could.
and there's hammers.
Yeah.
That's
so
Lake
many
St. Clair.
locals
Like,
are
dude, the
good.
guys that fish on Lake St. Clair, like the guys that fish our league night, that is an insanely competitive. Like the guys are really good. So you're fishing against those guys. Then you have guys that are coming from like the Michigan Walleye Tour. We had National Walleye Tour guys fish that event this year in Madness. It's like,
yeah, I pull up the league night. All the guys are like, "Oh, great, we're toast now." I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" Like,
you won, dude.
You guys-
You're
you
you're
whoop my
there.
butt here all the time.
Austin's like, we'll say we won. I was
You
standing
guys-
next to you guys when Trombley weighed, and I just heard Austin. I mean, we all know how much Austin's already spoke in this podcast.
How much?
But I hear him under his breath just go 0.02. Instantly. Like they weighed and Beckley announced it, and I 0.02. What?
Just a
We
drop
just
of
lost.
water.
Yeah, we just lost.
A drop of water. Yeah.
We just lost. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that. You said he doesn't talk much on the boat. I'm here to tell you he's got really good ideas, and like as a team collectively, I think like Evan catches at least unless we're jigging or trolling or whatever, Evan's catching 75 to 80% of the fish typically.
Yeah.
But like collectively as a team in our like decision making,
different roles.
he's not like saying we're gonna go do this. Like he actually,
I need like someone to like bounce off of like,
hey, right.
It's
the
a whole,
it's
the whole thing, dude.
Yeah.
And you got, that's the biggest thing about the team. I mean, you watch it ruin some friendships, and it's like, oh my god, dude. But
right.
it's
and
like,
it's not like we
you
never
got to
butt
trust
heads,
each other. You
know?
got to, well, no, 100%.
Yeah,
and that's part of it.
Yeah,
The family does
only
that.
during the tournament.
Right.
Which one?
Only during the tournament.
Yeah,
It's
not
just, like,
often.
more
but,
intense. But
yeah,
it's not like we're.
but
Well, and like this year, like you guys had stuff on the line, man. Like you guys went in with a goal. You guys have never been focused about like, you guys have always been focused about the business. Like you guys went in this year with like 2 sponsors. You know what I mean? And I like, and I was like, do you guys need anything? And you're like, we're good, dude. We got our season paid for. Like we're rolling. And I was like, fuck, go.
Right.
And it's like, it's just about the business. You know what I mean? And working together and figuring it out as a group.
Yeah.
Right.
The team aspect is a big part of it. That my biggest pet peeve, I would say, like one of my biggest pet peeves currently on social media, which I guess shouldn't matter anyway, but is like the bashing of like co-anglers on the national level and like the mission. Like there is a lot of shit that goes into working together as a team.
Right.
And I know it might optically look a little different, but there's a lot that goes into it
absolutely.
to make a decision. And like, with all due respect, when you're trolling, the only other thing you're doing is setting lines or maybe reeling in the fish that you grab, but it's still no different than netting them and sitting there in the boat waiting for a bite.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know, the working together as a team, I think, is a big part of it. I think it's the reason you guys finished the way you did, especially when we get down here towards the end. You guys made some huge plays. Tournament number 4, day 2 was really big for you guys.
Yep.
So it's like that team is mega.
Yeah, that Alpena tournament. And I tell you what, in Alpena 2 years ago, Crum thought of something that neither of us did that saved our butts on day 2, and we cashed a check. I'm telling you,
he gets the credit where he deserves.
People don't know it, but this guy knows how to fish. I'm here to tell you.
When we were talking about it, when I first started fishing, it was Austin was the one I mostly fished with. I mean, we fished a little bit together, but you had your boat, Chubbs. Mm-hmm. Shout out Chubbs. Chubbs would fish with us a ton, and then like Cody had his own boat, so he was fishing, and then Cody was over on the island. It cost me $15 to get to him. I was like, nah.
Tell you what, we get a jigging tournament, Crumbs in the boat.
Dude,
watch out.
Oh, I've been there. I'm just a driver.
Yeah,
I just sit there and hold the net because for whatever reason he's the one catching them.
Yeah, if you could replace me with Joe Barr and have him too. Yeah. No, you guys might as well not even show up. Yep.
All right, boys, let's get to Lake Erie. June 12th and 13th. The Lake Erie event in June. I think some people would think that's an interesting time. I think a lot of people think about Lake Erie as like an early spring fishery. Yeah. I think you guys will be here to tell them it's not. Day 1, unfortunately, it's Lake Erie, small craft advisory, blow day. Yeah. Day 2, you guys go out and throw together 33.37 pounds. So 33 pounds over 5 fish. And that lands you in the top 15 at 14th place. Lake Erie is an absolutely incredible fishery. Yeah. And this one, I should say Lake Erie out of Lorain, Ohio.
Yeah, which I'm glad we went there. Because if you're going to go to Lake Erie that time of year, that's where the big fish are. And I'm glad the Michigan Walleye Tour made the decision to go there. Otherwise, if we would have launched from Michigan, we'd have drove our boats 60 miles, beat the absolute crap out of them. We got to get an Airbnb anyways. Like I know, like from a money standpoint and like a local town and stuff, you miss out on that. But like for us, it's like we got to get an Airbnb anyways. We'd rather already be over there instead of having to drive the skeeter over there 60 miles on tournament day.
When it was announced, I'll be honest, I was really skeptical. Right. Because I think there's a lot of really good fisheries in Michigan that we could have highlighted.
There are,
specifically one in our backyard that I swear I will fight for it. And I just think it's a good, as a local fisherman here, it's a good thing because we are behind in the times. Like when you come out here, it's like a blast in the past, and that's all good. But I've been fighting for the fishery for a long time, and I was like, man, Ohio. But after talking to a lot of the people that fished it, after talking to people that were a part of the decision to make the decision to go down there, it made a ton of sense. And honestly, it seemed like a lot of those fish just kept sliding east.
They do.
So, like, thank God. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, even like that week that you guys were there, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it was a good call. And really, Lake Erie is, I mean, you guys talk about the fishing. You gotta do it.
It's unreal.
That was our first time ever being there, not in the spring, at least for us.
Yeah, we're not big on Lake Erie, to be honest with you.
No,
I'm like, I know there's walleye there. There's a lot of them. Yeah,
that's literally how good the
Okay.
fishing is on the St. Clair River, Lake St. Clair, and Detroit River.
Right.
Yeah,
Like the fishing is so good in that
like,
stretch.
I'm not leaving home to go down there to catch walleye when I can catch walleye here, and they're the same. But now they're not 8-10 pounders, but
Not all of them,
It's
but
fine.
they taste better.
yeah, that's true.
If like
Usually
usually in
still
the spring-
catching just as many, so
Yeah.
no need to travel. But we went down there and it was just unbelievable. I mean, you put down a live scope anywhere you would stop. You're like, I don't even know where to start because there's fish everywhere.
Right.
Like you pan from the left to the right, it's covered in fish. You turn around, there's fish behind you.
So what's the move in something like that? Like when you
You
guys
just-
are scoping, we talked about it. I wish, well, actually, I might be able to edit it in, but I'd rather talk about it, getting a bait in front of him and moving some fish.
You talk. I gotta go pee. You talk about that if you want.
Yeah, you talk about it, Crump.
You're,
You know what you're doing.
there was so many fish. It was actually crazy, like you said, top to
Overwhelming.
bottom. Yeah, you didn't know what to look at. So we drove around, and I heard this from some other guys before, actually on a podcast. You got to look for the fish that make you go, "Wow, that's a big one." Like for sure.
Like a blip.
Yeah, it dwarfs all the rest of them. You'll know when you see it.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
You know when you'll
Yeah.
see it.
You'll question yourself until
Yeah.
you see one. You're like, that's got to be a big one, or it's a catfish, and you just drive around until you see one
Yeah.
of those.
Rope a catfish and ruin your day.
It sucks.
Couple
Yeah, it
times.
It
does.
sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
You'll just be sitting there and it feels like such a good fish, and then it rolls once, and you're like, no.
And then just rips drag. You're like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Because you were saying basically like you just want to get a bait in front of a fish,
Yeah.
to pull it so you can almost see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Sometimes we'd call it measuring them. We'd cast at it because sometimes they sit on a funky angle and it's
They
not
do.
a good. They might be right at you or away, and we cast at them and bring it. And like when you see them turn and then they go vertical on it, you can really measure them
Yeah,
and see like that's not what we're looking for. Then reel it away and keep going.
and still get bit.
They're very willing to bite.
Very.
Yeah.
Like too willing to bite.
Well, the
Yeah,
competition's
especially the
insane.
smaller ones. But we did. I mean, there was a fair amount of fish like that we wanted to catch that we threw at
Yeah,
that didn't bite.
That's it. Yeah, that's feel like
that's
yeah,
why. That's
Right.
Like if I
Not
would
as
have
much
caught
on
those
Lake
other
Erie.
ones, we
Yeah,
probably
right.
would've done even
But
better.
overall-
I mean,
Oh,
that's
I know.
certain. I mean,
I know.
that's
I'm just saying, not every single big fish we saw bit.
yeah, that's the
Exactly.
difference. I think that's the difference between big fish. I think that's the biggest thing. Like
Big fish. are
again,
big. They're
my
smart.
biggest pet peeve with like the live scope argument is like, and I'll sit here and argue it till the day I die. I'm not saying you need it to catch fish, but you learn so much off a live scope. Throw at these fish and watch them not bite. Like there are
Yeah.
times. Talk to any of the pros. Listen to
I would-
any of these podcasts with guys that throw at even more fish than us because their full-time job is throwing at fish. There's times you just cannot get them to bite.
I was gonna say, I would say for like that Lorraine tournament, the live scoping, you probably catch less fish than the trollers. Those trolling guys,
100%.
You couldn't keep them off your
you
bait.
can't literally. As soon as you get it out, you're taking it off again.
But you're wasting time. I mean,
You're
you're
wasting
wasting lines in
time
the water, but you're also
because-
wasting
yeah.
time reeling in rats.
Exactly.
Right.
You can't pick out the bigger ones. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Sometimes the little ones that actually beat the big fish to
Yeah.
the bait.
Yeah.
That happened multiple
Yeah,
That,
times.
see, that's
Yeah.
always the problem that I usually like that I tend to find is like you'll see a big mark, but there's always little guardians around it, and it's really hard to get past
Yeah.
those small
Ohio's
fish.
worse.
Yeah.
It's gotta be the worst.
It is
Yeah,
so
it's
bad.
bad.
Like you cast out, and there'd just be a fish like 10 foot below the one you're casting at. Start shooting up. You start cranking on that as quick as you can, burning it in, and that fish catches up and eats it.
You just see your bait.
They
and
were
you see the
catching
fish
up and
across
eating
your
it.
screen.
You're like, holy crap, that thing
Yeah.
just
There might be
devoured
something to that.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Burn it as quick as you can, and they're still getting it.
Well, when you work them aggressive, watching those fish react, walleyes are not what like we were told. Walleyes do
They're
not
not
just sit on the
Always
bottom.
on the bottom.
They're bottom. They feed on the bottom, but they're not bottom feeders. That was always the argument I had with people, and now I'm like, no, they are. Those and catfish are actual predators.
Oh,
Yeah,
catfish.
for sure.
Catfish might as well be a great white shark. I'm telling you guys, for those of you guys that have not scoped, or those of you that are
Saginaw.
trollers,
They'll get you every
yeah,
time.
Saginaw. For those of you that are trollers that are like, how the heck did we catch a catfish? They are hunting down your baits
Yeah.
actively. They're
Nowhere near bottom either.
no.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's a nice 8-pound walleye if I ever seen one. Look, it feels good for about 3 seconds and it just starts taking off. You're like, God, I got catfished again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
It's starting.
They move through the water.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can
like
start
when
to
you're
pick them
chasing
out
them.
on the
Yeah.
live scope. I mean, some of them they'll be like up here, and then all of a sudden they're down here, then they're on bottom, then they're back up. You're like, okay, probably shouldn't cast.
They're
it down.
literally swimming, going through
Really?
the water column.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
not
the
all of
walleye
them,
stay a lot
obviously.
more. The walleye stay a lot more stationary.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you
Man,
spook
if
them
I
and they
was throwing
start
a
swimming
catfish
away.
in front of Augrey, dude, I'm gonna.
You
lose
probably
my
were.
mind.
I hate to tell you, Pete.
You might have. You might have been.
Oh no, dude, no.
It all makes sense now.
All right, let's get to Lake Huron Alpena.
All right.
So the fourth tournament, Lake Huron Alpena, super tough fishery, way too much water to fish. We'll get into some of that maybe a little bit later because I would like your guys' opinion on some of this tournament stuff. It's a good time to talk about it. You guys are the freaking champions, so I think you guys get a say in it. You guys should get to make your own rule. One rule. Austin, you should finally get to ban live scope.
Yeah.
Don't
Jigging
You'll
only.
make trolling great again.
You can only jig.
blind casting
Line
only.
casting.
So Alpena was July 11th and 12th. Typically a decent time of the year to go there. Alpena is just a very finicky fishery. I'll let you guys talk a lot about that. Day one, you guys bring in 1942. You are not sitting where you want to be sitting in the standings, and you kind of knew you needed to make a move, right? Like some of those teams were gaining some ground. I know Randy's team had those issues with their motor, but some of those teams are gaining some ground on you guys. You guys go out day two. You weigh 22.53 for 42.45, and you guys finish 31st. Now, that doesn't sound like a great tournament, but that was, I mean, Lance said it. Lance is, for those of you guys who don't know, Lance is the MC of the whole Michigan Walleye Tour. He's been in this thing for a long time. He told Evan when we were having dinner, he thought that was the turning point. Day two Alpena was kind of the turning point for your, or the saving point, I guess, for your season.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like we caught them too crazy much.
No,
better,
I mean
but
we
I know, but
it did
for-
help us move up for
Moved
sure.
us up 10 places.
Yeah,
I think.
Lance forgot all about Detroit. I brought that up to him at the thing, and
we were in like 40.
we were in 44th after day one in Detroit, and we moved all the way up to 9th. That
Wow,
was a
yeah,
heck
I
of a
guess.
jump.
Well, and how about that? So you only really gained an extra, 7 pounds, and it launched you 28 spots. And that's how Detroit can be. I mean, Detroit is ounces.
Detroit's are so
Detroit
tough.
is ounces. I think,
Yeah.
Peters and Cons won it, and our buddy Pete was right behind him. And, I mean, he was only a couple ounces out, I feel like. I can't really remember. But that is a great point. I mean, that Alpena tournament probably because it was so late in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It-
that Detroit tournament is huge, dude. 7 pounds.
Yeah.
7 pounds in a day launch. You guys are in 44th after day one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We've always said too, we've been like a day two team where, okay, day one, okay, we can do somewhat decent for the most part, but day two, we've always seemed to do, if not right at or better than
Yeah.
what we've done day one.
And right at for day two is not
fine.
easy, dude.
It's
No,
fine.
Right at is not. If you can piece together 2 of the same days, you are going to be towards the top of the field
You'll
any
move
day of
up.
the week. I don't care what you say.
Whether
You
we
will
can
move
keep
up.
doing that, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of how we've always been. But
Besides Detroit last year,
yeah,
that was the exception.
that was the only one. Got a little cold feet on
Yeah.
being in the top 10 for the first time,
Yeah.
but
I think though too, like
It
you
was
say,
mo-
if
it
we
was
can
more
keep
the-
doing that, I think that's
the
part of your
conditions,
team's DNA.
right.
Like you talk about your guys' teamwork, I think your planning and adjusting is all a part of it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about getting to work with you guys for Madness, and then even bouncing some ideas off you for the Skeeter tournament, and just the fishing in general. Like we've been able to bounce some ideas off each other. The adjustments that you guys make is pretty good. You can tell that you guys have been doing this and like. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but like really paying attention. Like it hasn't just been like let's go fish the tour. You know what I mean? Like really paying attention and focusing on like what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because so let's just dive right into it. The championship, Lake Charlevoix. So Lake Charlevoix is a super tough fishery. It's got people with way too much money and way too small brains driving boats. They legitimately should not be licensed.
First
Um,
time being on that lake, and I said this in like all the interviews. I'm like, for the first time, I think we're on a lake that probably most of these people have never fished here before.
No way.
I know there's some guys that have, guaranteed,
Yeah.
but it's like we all have to learn everything about this. And we roll up, I'm like, oh, this is a pretty nice lake, and all of a sudden all the boats start coming out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm like, these people got money
that
out here.
6 a.m.
These
to
nuts
like 9 a.m. was probably
Was
real
fine.
chill.
Yeah, it
Till
was.
about 8 a.m.
So
And then
you
here
started
they come.
early.
Here they come.
All the rich guys, they're paying their deckhands to drive their boats across the lake.
Dude, here comes the old
Big
speedboats
yachts.
with the helicopter chasing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
They
was
had
a whole
the poker
Boeing
runs.
Thunder run,
Yeah.
right? You guys
It
were
was,
part of that?
Boeing Thunder was the one before.
Before, okay.
There was one just like it that weekend.
Yeah, there's a helicopter in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, well, and then I heard that, I don't remember if you guys were there, but I heard the first day when they came through, that was
just
a fun
warm-up.
run.
Yeah, like a practice.
It was a fun run, and then they did an actual one, and that was both Friday and Saturday. Friday was the fun run. So right through the middle of the tournament, and where we were at in the middle of the lake, like we knew we could not be out there when they did that because we would have been down bad.
Yeah.
Been down bad.
Yeah, and I want to dive into this. So day one, you guys weighed 19.42. So you are going into the championship on Lake Charlevoix. You're leading team of the year by 2 points and by 3 points to the next team coming up.
Yeah.
The team behind you is back-to-back team of the year.
Teams.
Yeah, they
The
were
team
both
after
2
them.
points. They were both 2 points behind us.
Oh, they were both 2 points behind you?
They were tied.
Yeah. So, and then one of them was back-to-back team of the year. The other one are back-to-back championship winners. So you guys have no business being there, and here we are heading in. You guys are in third place after day one. I chatted with Crum after day one, and I chatted with a couple other guys. The tone that Austin had was a lot different than what I had heard from some of the other guys. The other guys, the boat traffic was getting to them. Their fish were getting pushed around. Some stuff was going on. I really want to hear about your guys', if you can, whatever you can give on your Charlevoix strategy and where you went.
I think we start with the pre-fishing.
Yeah.
And then we can break it down from there. So, but Shane got up there. Would you get up there Sunday?
Sunday night, started
Sunday
fishing
night,
Monday.
which that tournament started on a Friday.
Yeah.
So
So
we
4
had
days
a little less
pre-fish.
than a little less than a week to pre-fish the whole thing and figure it out, which is the hardest part. And that you get information from guys like, you should try this and try that, and everyone's like, South Arm's the best for walleye fishing. And then I'm in my mind, I'm like, South Arm is like shallower, and I'm like, I bet there's bigger fish on the main lake if you figure it out and figure out where they're at out deep, suspended or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's
I think
kinda
a lot
how
of guys figured out that the bigger fish were in the main lake.
Yeah, they did figure that out pretty quick.
So a lot of guys started in South Arm, it seemed like.
Yeah, and I even went in there one day, and I'm like,
I never did.
This is not.
I
We just
didn't
checked
do
it
it.
out. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to look at it.
Well, that's breaking it. Yeah, 100%.
Like, this doesn't look like it's gonna be where it's gonna help us do anything. We caught one fish in there, and it was 16 inches.
And that's where the teammate, Brad, he was in there, and he caught quite a few fish when he pre-fished it, but they were all small. And it's like, I wasn't catching a lot of fish a day, but the ones I would catch would be, good tournament fish.
Yeah.
And so it's like, God, if we can just catch 5 of these a day, you can't catch 5 of these in the South Arm from the sounds of it. Like I said, I never went there. Evan went in there and sniffed around for one day and Crown.
Only a few hours.
And for a few hours,
Brad
and
was in there.
it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And we knew from everything, what Brad was telling us and what he was hearing, it's like, it's probably not where you're gonna be to win. And like we knew coming into this, and I just want to say, like, I think a lot of people counted us out after Alpena when Matt and Randy both, caught right up to us, and it's basically even going in there. And it's like our mindset was like we have to try.
Well,
to
you
win
guys
this.
are, at the time, you guys were, I mean, another team. No offense, but like, you know what I mean? It's just another team. Like, these guys have been impressive. And I don't want to say that, like, you guys have been impressive. The guys knew who you were. They knew you could fish. But these guys been there, done that.
Right.
It's those two. You know what I'm saying?
And they want it just as bad
Oh,
for a third
God.
time.
Yeah.
Both of them would be a three-peat.
those guys are gonna fish real.
Those guys are very competitive. Well, you said it. You said it perfectly. We fish. We do the tournaments more so for the camaraderie. Like, the captain's meetings are great. The weigh-ins are great. I mean, the fishing, like, give me an excuse to fish for 4 days straight. Like, yeah, all right, twist my arm.
Yeah.
But in the same sentence, like, dude, I'm not here to lose.
Right.
I'm not here. I'm not a donator.
Right. And two, like you said, camaraderie. I just want to say, like, thank you to everybody who fishes for like being supportive. Because it's super competitive and everybody wants to win, but like everybody was super nice to us. Like even before, and like the last couple of years, like everybody's been super supportive and like, hey, you guys are doing great. And like there hasn't been like negative things that, when we're leading team of the year, it's not like a smack talk. Like we're gonna be, like they're super great guys. So thank you.
Well,
for
and
that.
you guys have always impressed in the sense, and I'll give you your flowers in this sense. Like it's always been a no BS type deal,
Right.
and I don't think it's any secret. I mean, we don't need to go way into it, but this industry can get crazy just because it's a small industry, and it's always been a no BS. You guys have treated people right. You've done it the right way, and then it just shows because guys treat you the right way, and it really is the field of anglers is a good group. Like they fish hard. They're all there to do the same thing. Yeah. There's no weights in fish.
Yeah.
Which we've always tried to do the best that we can and just be nice with everyone else. And we don't want to be known as a team that's cocky and stuck up and nobody likes. Because that's not. Just not.
I just don't think that's even in your DNA. I mean, I've seen Austin treat some people like
we're
absolute shit at the bow launch. But
people who actually don't know me or Crumb, we're probably two of the shyest guys you would ever meet.
Yeah.
But if you start to talk to us and you get us out of our comfort zone, then we start talking a little bit more. Yeah. And
we start talking fishing and it starts getting pretty.
Something I'm actually decent at,
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
school,
work.
but talk about fishing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about work.
I wasn't very good at school either.
Yeah.
So you guys basically for Charlevoix, like your goal was to target that deep water away from because we talked about
two different
point.
patterns.
Yeah. So me and Crumb.
You guys have to talk about this pattern while I take a leak. First time I've ever had to take a leak during the pod, so you're on your own.
Sounds good.
They're gonna break down the pattern.
So pattern goes, me and Crumb, we're on deep water because I'm like, there's got to be fish out here. Why wouldn't there be? So we
deep water as in 75 feet.
Yeah.
Plus rope.
Yes. I mean, some of our stuff 50. The first day was in like 50, but then we slowly found fish in 50 foot, and we ventured out to like the 90-foot stuff, and there's fish out there too. So we're like, okay, now we got to figure out like the area where these fish are going to be sitting in this 90-foot stuff. And it was random. I mean, those fish are just out there scattered all over the place.
There wasn't a lot of them.
No, there wasn't a lot. We had we'd say that was like a 2-mile stretch.
Yeah,
we would literally turn the big motor on, put it in gear, and just start going.
Yeah.
And we would maybe see 6 fish in a 2-mile stretch. We'd cast at every single one of them. Sometimes we wouldn't even catch one.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd catch 2 of them.
Yeah.
But at the most, we'd only catch like 2.
Right.
But when we were pre-fishing, we'd catch like a 6-pounder and a 3.5-pounder. And then it'd be like a 3.5-pounder, a 4-pounder.
Right.
I'm like, okay, those are pretty good fish if you can get them to bite.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we stuck on. We only need 5 bites. Yeah, they're finicky. Yeah, they don't like.
Scared of the worm, Shane?
They're scared of everything.
They are.
They like to give it a sniff test.
To a point. They're not scared of the boat that much.
No, they really weren't.
I was going to ask, did you have to make like bomb casts?
No, you can get 25, 30 foot up on these fish and cast at them. They won't
30
spook.
to 50 foot is where we'd usually
Yeah.
40 to
How
50
deep are
we'd
they?
cast.
They're 30 foot down, suspended over 90 foot of water. So, but the water is still somewhat clean. I would call it like a Lake St. Clair clean. It's not like crystal clear.
I thought it was like clean.
That's what I thought going into
It's
it.
pretty clean.
It's got a little bit of a tip.
It's got enough to
It's
where
weird. It's like when there's 7,000 yachts running through there. It stirs the bottom up.
Yeah.
Well, I think they just get used to boats, because they got
They
7,000
used to
boats
it.
going there. What are they going to do? Run from all of them?
Yeah.
Can't run from all of them, right?
No.
But for
there's
us,
always an interesting theory. I don't mean to cut you off, but there's an
Yeah.
interesting theory on fish, and they all like muskie, salmon can kind of be like that. Marlin are like a fish doesn't know what a boat is, so it's always interesting to me how certain fish react
to
around
a
boats.
point, depends, I guess.
But that's what I mean. Like Lake Huron, or some of those like clean water fish. Even St. Clair when it's clean.
Yeah.
Good luck getting real close.
Yeah.
Right.
But then other ones where when St. Clair is a weird one because they're getting drove over all the time.
Quite literally all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of party boats sound like St. Clair.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
One thing too, I think about the deep water bite. I think a lot of people checked it. Probably at least 30 of the 40 boats checked it and tried it, and like I did myself, and I wasn't in the right area when I did it, and it didn't work out for me. And I think a lot of people did that, and like, there's not fish out here. Or
the thing was, you literally would have to go a half mile before you seen a fish, and I don't know what made
and then
me
they'd
keep
be a
doing
little
it.
grouped up.
Like
They'd
I
be a
don't
little
know if we
grouped up.
stopped like the first time. I'm like, okay, there's a fish there, and you could see it.
You have to go more in depth now that you just said that. You have to go more in depth about what you told me about finding tournament winning fish. Because in my opinion, that's what I think it was. You
Like
knew in
finding
the
a
South
spot,
Arm,
knowing if you have a spot or not.
Yes.
Well,
but just knowing you're on good fish, because in the South Arm, you knew you weren't going to win it. So if you had to go every half mile to find fish, like, it just makes sense, right? You're on better fish. So even if I have to travel further, I'm on better fish.
right, which I don't know what made me do that, because usually I'm like pretty quick to give up on a spot. Like, okay, they're not here. But like I'm like, there's got to be more fish. Like, just through all this suspended stuff through here, like, because everything out there is going to be like your smelt and your Cisco's. And those bigger fish are going to be feeding on those bigger baits, like especially those Cisco's. I mean, we caught fish that are spitting out smelt that were this long.
No.
Yeah. So
you need those in there on tournament day.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you're right. So it's like sticking with it, and then knowing if that's the spot or not is the biggest thing. Which always I've been like, before like a tournament, you're like, man, it would really be nice if like find a spot where you're like, yeah, we can win it here.
Yeah.
And it's really, I've always told, it's not really about that. It's about just finding a spot that you're confident in, and you find fish that are big enough that you think are doing good enough to do good in the tournament.
Right.
Not really be like, all right, yeah, we're gonna
win.
For sure gonna come here and win it.
Yeah.
There's not a spot like that. I mean, there might be a spot like that, but
There probably is.
there's more than one.
I think
And
it's
then
less.
it's
I
kinda
think
like-
that happens, but it's very rare.
It
Like,
is.
I think more
Yeah.
often than not, you just have to know
There's just so
you're
much
in the
water
fish.
that,
Because there's
to
also
find
so
it,
much
it's
that
hard,
has to go right.
but then you gotta know that if you're on good enough fish, you gotta know to just grind that out.
Right.
Yes.
Fish that spot,
Decision
and that's gonna
making.
be your spot.
Grinding it out.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot leave
Yeah.
fish to find fish.
Which
if you're
I'm
on
saying,
good
like
ones.
going 2 miles and casting at 6 to 8 fish at most. That's not a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of fish.
It's a grind, but
Like,
like
you're
we're there.
seeing-
It's like we need 5 bites.
You go 20 minutes without seeing a fish,
Right.
and you're like, oh, there's
Yeah.
one.
You think about the
That's
pass.
wild.
You think about the pass though, and if you can go through that pass however many times throughout the day, and
Just
pick up
less than you think,
right,
by the
and,
way.
and pick up 1 or 2 fish a pass. You know,
How long do you think your passes were?
About 2 miles. We
They're
were
2
saying.
miles.
Roughly.
It took us
and
probably
they
an
moved
hour and a
around.
half,
They
2
moved
hours.
a little bit.
They
It
were
took
on
us
day
a
one to
while
day
to
two.
get through it.
You're using the big motor too.
Yeah.
Until you saw fish.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then so the other
Anything out
half,
like 120.
What's
Your
that?
Panoptics.
135. I love.
Yeah, way
Yeah.
a
out.
lot of guys go further.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
guys. I used
yeah,
to do
yeah,
like
yeah.
150, but
Yeah.
now I bring it back in, because at like 150, you have to be like right on it just to see just a little glimmer. Like, okay, unless you really got it set up, which I
Yeah,
have
Well,
mine
some
set up
guys
pretty
do.
good, but some guys have it set up so good you can. I was fishing
You don't-
nationals, and
Sure.
we could see them out like 200. Yeah, out of Alpena, when I was fishing as a co. I'm like, you got this thing set on 200, like you can't
Was
even.
it a Garmin?
Yeah, it was a Garmin.
When I fished with Chase on day one, whoops, in Alpena, they were all empty. There was no abuse. When I fished with him day one, he has the Lowrance active target, and he was way out
Yeah.
there. And I was
But then you
"Holy,"
get-
I mean,
Like I do the same thing. I look out as far as I can. I'm comfortable off at 135, which is a lot.
that's
I mean,
fine.
that's seeing far. And then when I get close to the fish, I zoom it into 100 every single time.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to having it at 100 that I can look at the fish and size them.
You know exactly where you have to cast by the look of that
If
screen.
I go to 90, throws me off
Yeah.
every time.
I was trying to throw a 120 over the weekend, and I was like,
Yeah,
no,
throws me off.
nope.
Yeah,
I was
oh,
short 20 feet every time.
yeah.
Like, it was actually insane. And
Yeah.
then when I would hit it, it would throw me off when I would dial it back into 100.
Mhm. So
Yeah, that's
So-
interesting.
Back to pre-fishing, the deep. They basically
you know,
focus on the deep. They did fish some shallower stuff, but it was pretty easy to tell that most of the guys were basically fishing off the first break. And when I say that, like 30 to like 50 foot of water was holding fish.
breaks or any kind of like contour you see on the map.
Right.
You're like,
I mean,
wow.
obvious
And,
structure.
and this
Structure.
goes back to what we were talking about, I think, before this, where especially on a lake like this, where it's not that big, compared to Lake Erie.
Yeah.
You look at it when you go to a tournament, you look at a map and you start looking at places, and you're looking at structure, and you're looking at contours.
Mhm.
Everybody's fishing these spots around this lake. And those fish, even with 40 boats, just get so beat up through the week. And it's like, I fished a lot of that stuff. And like, we fished 2 or 3 of those spots in the tournament.
Yeah.
And it's like, but we had more spots between them and I that were shallower, but like we're sitting there so from the middle of the lake, we could see most of our spots and like that were shallower. And we're like, that spot has 3 or 4 boats on it. We're not going there, but that spot and that spot don't. And like that bay.
Yeah, the same goes with any tournament. Too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
because like we could know that there's good fish on the spot, but there's 4 boats in it. Oyster Bay, there's boats in it like crazy, but there's big fish there. But it's like to go in there and try to get them fish to bite that have had 4 or 5 boats on it all morning. Good luck.
When they're already hard to catch even before pressure.
It's not like there's a ton of new fish coming in. Right, and filtering through, especially in that smaller lake.
So how are we feeling day 2? Coming in
before even day 1, I'm like coming in. Lance was doing his little live stream. Yeah, he's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "Great." I'm like, if we can catch them, I feel good. Like, whoa. I'm like we gotta at least go out with some positivity, I guess.
Yeah,
feel good about it. So after day 1, coming in with 19 pounds, I'm like, we're sitting at 3rd, and I'm like, okay.
We did think the weights were going to be a little higher.
We did think that. Yep. I'm like, we can probably do that again.
That's how you know you.
But it's going to be hard. Yeah.
You feel like a good pre-fish.
I know, but like, how many guys out of that? How many boats out of 40 caught a 6-pounder?
I mean, we've had plenty of pre-fishing where we're going to the tournament. And we're like, well, let's see how this one goes.
I'm just like when you go in and think the weights are going to be higher.
Yeah.
And then you get there and you're like, oh man, they're not as. It's like, well, maybe we did. Maybe we did smack them around the other day.
Right. We were happy with the 3rd place after day 1, but
and
then day 2 going out, we're like, okay, we just do this again. Easier said than done.
Right. And they were not biting.
No, we did. We started in that deep water. We were seeing more fish.
Yeah.
Than before the day before.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, this would be good. I'm like, they're kind of acting decent. They weren't quite biting, but a lot of them were looking.
Yeah.
And they'd follow it, but they wouldn't bite. And we caught 2. But they were our smallest
fish. Not that big, yeah.
And I'm like, these are the smallest fish I've caught out here yet. I'm like, that's not good. And we probably spent like 2 hours out there, and we kind of fell back on one of Shane's pre-fishing spots where we fished the day before, and go in there. I think would we catch one way fish out of there, and I think we caught one way fish out of there the day before too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we're at 3, and at this point, it's like later and later in the day.
It's probably getting like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we got 3 fish. Okay, let's go over to this spot because I caught them here pre-fishing. We roll into another bay. I forgot what the bay was called, but it was on like the southwest corner of the lake. And caught a couple, I think like 3 or 4 3-pounders in there pre-fishing. Right away, first fish, cast at it, 3-pounder, catch it. Or like 3.5. Like, okay, got something going here.
Getting better.
Spend another hour, don't catch anything. I'm like, what the frick?
We're seeing them though.
We're seeing them, yes. And then we're going through it, and it's like 2 hours in, cast that. There's fish on bottom, there's fish suspended. At this point, we're not in deep water. I mean, we're still in like 30 foot of water, but
not 90.
No, not 90. Being at 30 foot of water, the fish are either going to be a little bit suspended or they're going to be sitting on bottom because it's summertime. The water is warm. They're not going to be, I mean, they can be up near the top or near the middle, but for the most part, all the fish where we were fishing were towards the bottom. And I just start casting that fish. It's just as many fish you cast at. Find one that'll bite. Finally got one to bite. It was like a 4-pounder. So I'm like, okay, we got how many fish?
That was 4.
That was number 4. And then
you caught another one pretty quick after that.
Yeah.
So then we're at 5.
Number 5, which like it still wasn't like 130.
And you hated it.
16 pounds. I was like,
probably not even 16 pounds.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, what we're doing right now, if everyone's having a tough day, we still might do all right, but it's still not good. Like
because at this point, Team of the Year is on your
Team
brain.
of the Year is
heavy.
Oh, yes.
Like we
really
have to get Team of the Year.
Yeah.
And so
and we knew we had 2 small fish in there.
Yeah.
The other 3 were fine, but we had 2 that were like what, an 18 and a 17-incher, or maybe a little less, something like that.
And the Team of the Year guys, we were in 3rd, The other guy was in 4th. The other one was in 6th.
So
too.
they were
we had
on
no
our
buffer.
butt.
Yeah.
And
There's no
room
space.
for
You
air.
gotta go.
So it's
Yeah.
like we had an hour and a half left, roughly. And we've been pre-fishing, or Shane pre-fished. I guess I went in there one day in front of where we launched takeoff.
Mhm.
There's just like a bowl up in there, and there's some weeds and stuff and some deep water that comes up. But during pre-fishing, I caught a 4-pounder there. What you caught?
I went in there twice. The first time I went in there, I caught a 5 and a 3, and then the same day you were in there, I caught a 4-pounder.
Yeah.
So, but there was not compared to the other spots that were like 30 to 50 foot of water, I think there was maybe less fish, but they were quality and they would bite.
Yeah. So
They would bite's a big one, dude. That's a really.
But that's
big
where
one.
the day one leaders were. They were right by the boat ramp. Big fish day one was right by the boat ramp.
Yeah.
So like it was a thing.
You also got to kind of be vigilant, like where people are and how they did, because that could be a spot that you're in, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
now
Like
I
we
know.
fished over there. We know there's something over there.
Like John Hoyer says, it is not illegal to be observant.
No.
So
You don't think anyone else is?
everybody is.
Everyone is.
Everybody
You
is
have to
doing
be
well.
kind of
Is yeah, absolutely.
About twice as many boats fished by the launch to start the second day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah. The day one
Could
boat,
be.
the day one boat who was leading, Bob, he took off and headed straight down the middle of the lake. He got like 2 miles.
No, not even. I would say
Maybe
a
1 mile.
Mile?
You could easily see it.
I
Sure.
wouldn't say easily, but then he makes a J hook all the way back around and comes way back in. And we're like, he wasn't trying to just go straight to that spot, which is smart. Yeah. So.
But there ain't enough room on that lake to.
Right.
No, you
Yeah.
can't
We
do
all
it.
saw him do
Yeah.
it, but we knew what
That's
he
the
was
tough
doing.
thing with fishing, dude. And I crack up when
Yeah.
people at the bait shop are like, "I got a secret spot." And I'm like, "What kind
Mhm.
of boat you got?
Yeah.
Is it camo? You fishing in a layout boat? Because otherwise, it ain't a secret.
Right.
You can't.
That's a nice part about fishing in the bathtub. And when you have the Alumacraft, it's like people look at you and they're like, But you see a 621 Ranger, like, oh, he might be on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel
Crazy.
so bad for the people that pull in behind me. Like this guy's got to know something.
He's got a rat boat.
I'm like,
sponsors.
dude, you're about to suffer with me.
This
Huh?
guy's a pro.
Yeah.
He
And
knows.
it took us, we learned that. Like just because it's a nice boat and, it looks
We
like they
know
might
that.
know what
Yeah,
they're doing.
they-
Like we learned that a long time ago. It's
Well,
like,
you have
doesn't mean they're on them.
Yeah, and you have confidence in your own. I mean, you know what I mean. You guys have fished it enough where it's like, yeah, we're fishing this. Like we know that we can break it down. But you guys had like a buzzer beater.
Yeah, so going in that day two and that last, we had 45 minutes by the time we got there. And we pull in and the wind is coming straight down the lake and pushing into that bay. So as soon as I drop the trolling motor, there's bait and fish everywhere.
Mhm.
But if you haven't fished Lake Charlevoix, smallmouth capital of the world. They're
Dude,
everywhere.
incredible
incredible.
smallmouth. Huge
So
ones.
it is so hard.
Yeah.
You can. I'm
That's
starting to get to it to pick out the
Ah.
smallmouth versus like the walleye. A lot of the smallmouth were up higher than the walleye if they're in any of the column. But I mean, that last fish was on the bottom, just suspended about 1 foot up.
Yeah, we were
enough where you
like
could see it.
37 foot.
It was
I
like
think,
37
somewhere in
foot.
there.
But I'm just in there with my head down, like we don't have much time left. I'm like,
We were bumming.
we were
bumming.
bumming.
We already had the "that's how you lose it on day 2" conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Crum had already said like, I don't think we could have like done anything different today. It just didn't go our way.
Yeah.
Like that's where we were at.
So I'm casting at all these fish and they're not reacting. And then we have 15 minutes left.
I don't even think it was that. I think it
Well,
was.
I'm only guessing because 15 minutes, because I remember when I put the trolling motor down and buckled up the life jacket, we had 10 minutes left.
Okay.
So I had to have been taking us 5 minutes to catch fish and I didn't get in. But I finally cast at a fish. I'm like, this is a fish. If this isn't a catfish, that was another thing. There's catfish in there too, and we were catching them. This isn't
And we
cat.
were catching.
If this isn't a catfish, this is gonna be a good one. And I hooked that fish right away. I'm like,
He's like, you got it.
Kind of feels like a catfish.
Oh,
And it's pulling. I'm like, it's pulling like a walleye.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
zinging
not-
line.
It doesn't like so when you catch catfish, they pull a lot more line out.
burst. They'll
Fast,
burst.
They
too.
burst.
Yeah.
The bursts are a lot
Yeah.
longer. The walleye are just kind of pull it for a little bit, stop, or not even a little bit, real quick and stop. And then they got like their head shake. You can feel it, and then the way they move their tail is a little bit different than the catfish. Just kind of like wiggling
a
all
catfish
over
roll.
and rolling and twisting your line up. And I'm like, it feels like a walleye. And I could barely see it. And I'm like, it's cold. It could be either a catfish, but it looks like a walleye. And then I got up a little more. I'm like, I see a white tail. I'm like, that's a big ass walleye.
White tail. Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, those were his words. He's like, that's a big ass walleye.
literally. I'm like, holy crap. Now at this point, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm like, we need to catch this fish.
Right.
So I'm just trying to, I mean, we're fishing a jig and a crawler, so it's like a bait that you can put a little bit more pressure on that hook without it popping if they got it good.
Yeah.
I mean, once they're hooked,
usually
usually if you get them
good.
up to a certain point, they're hooked pretty good. So I put a little bit more pressure on that fish and pulled it up quicker once I seen it. I'm like, chain net that thing, get in the net. And we got it in the net, and the one boat that was next to us seen everything happen, and we're just
Adam and Jake.
high-fiving and hugging and yelling. And I think everyone in that bay probably heard us catch that fish.
I remember netting that fish. I netted it, and the windshield's next to me. I flipped it over, like into the bottom of the boat, and then just immediate high five and hug with Crumb.
You
You
know?
knocked two smells out of his
The
mouth.
bear paw got me right
No,
on the
it
back.
Didn't matter. I mean, that fish that we netted, I'm like, that fish just saved us.
Literally.
From team of the year. That's all I said. Team of the year, that fish
That was
just saved us.
Yeah.
And then going into weigh-in, I'm like, we knew we had a decent bag. And the day before, we're like, okay, so
We
they're
never
not-
weighed any of it.
So
No.
did you still have to weigh that 18-incher then it would have been?
one of them.
We got
Yeah,
one
you
of
got
them
rid
out.
of the small one.
I
We-
think one was like 17 and one was like
18.
19.
We had to
or
weigh
something.
one. Yeah.
We never weighed any of our fish in our basket either day.
That went from a 6-pounder, like that was probably a 2-pound fish.
It's
Yeah.
probably a
5-pound fish.
4-pound upgrade.
Yeah.
Literally.
So, but going in the weigh-in, it's like we told ourselves before, they didn't hold back the top 10 like they usually do. I'm like, if we do good, or you're saying if we do good, let's hold ourselves back. I mean, we didn't mean to go last, but
Right.
we held ourselves back for a minute, and they're like, all right, let's go. And then we just happened to be last
Really?
into the tank.
So that wasn't like a thing? They didn't like flip
no,
you
that
last?
was not
No.
a thing. No, we kind of,
We stalled once we got in the harbor.
yeah,
Right.
we definitely
We just put it
stalled.
on spotlight and kind of figured
We
our
were
crap
still
out.
trying
Dude,
to
we were
gather
watching
ourselves.
the bait shop. We were watching the bait shop. I was like, come on.
We were still watching ourselves. We're like trying to gather what just happened.
Yeah.
Like people are rolling
the
in.
jig
They're
was
like,
still in the net
yeah,
when we got there because we
Literally.
couldn't get it out, and we were like, we just need to go in.
just
And
go in.
we're
Like,
figuring
leave
our
it. It doesn't
fish
matter.
out
We don't
and-
need that jig. Leave it in the net.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
Doesn't
Get
matter.
rid of
Throw it
shit.
out in the water.
Yeah, we don't need the net. We'll buy a new one.
Just make sure the fish are in the live well. And we got our boat.
We were
tagged.
sorting our fish, making sure we had the right one for our fifth one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
We
was
didn't want to
coming
like
in.
make it like we weren't like, yeah, we know we got this one.
We didn't know.
No.
we didn't.
We really
No.
didn't. But with like where we
You
were,
can't know those guys.
Yeah.
The guys that 1 and 2, like both of those teams are hammers, and
Hammers.
they did really well.
Yeah,
we're
And
like,
the guys behind you are hammers. So
Yeah.
it's like there's nothing to say that they didn't have a better day.
exactly.
Absolutely.
You don't know. You just going into it, and it's like, okay, you get to the bump bank tank, and you start trying to read everyone's face. You're like, they don't look too happy. They
Yeah.
don't look too happy. I'm like,
yeah. And Randy's such an honest guy too.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, we didn't get, like we got a good bag, but and again, it goes back to they're just honest guys and good dudes,
Yeah.
So, but we were like, given where we were for team of the year and like in the tournament and everything, we're like, let's try to weigh towards the end and just make it interesting. you
Yeah,
know?
100%.
I think we did. Everyone was probably waiting, watching. Like,
Yeah.
where are these guys at? Why? They
Yeah.
didn't weigh in yet.
Yeah, they're probably like they're in the back. Shit.
There they are.
They know.
Well, probably when we were
When
spotlighting,
you guys
and
were
Randy
like-
and Matt went by us, they were probably like, oh, something. I don't know.
And then getting
Yeah,
up there,
dude, that's crazy. What a freaking.
we were still thinking like I know I did like we didn't weigh any of
We
our
still
fish.
didn't think we won.
I did rough math in my head. I'm like, dude, I can't get anything less than 18 and a half at most. I'm like, this is going to be decent. And they're like, yeah, we got like 17. I'm like, dude, I think we got more than that, but we'll see. Then we go up and weigh in. And then when it pops up to 19.31,
Yeah.
my mind is just like, holy.
Yeah. Lance, I remember thinking Lance, before Crum put the basket on, Lance was like, they need 18-6 to win. I remember thinking on my mind, I was like, God, we got to be close.
That's a lot.
And then we can see the readout. He could.
It was right in the screen, right in front of me. That
we couldn't find it.
There was a glare on the screen.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So you're waiting to see 18.6 and
Right.
hit 19.
Well,
19
We just hear the
31.
crowd start, like
Yeah.
hollering or whatever, and I'm like, oh, must be good. And then Lance like 19, whatever. And yeah, that was
And then he
really
blacked
cool.
out.
Pretty much.
For the rest
He
of
blacked
the
out and woke up with a. Yeah,
I
I
think
was
we all
supposed to. I
started-
was supposed to get to enjoy that party with these guys after Madness, and it wasn't even like a celebratory second place. It was a depressed second place. So there was no drinking. I got to imagine you got to finally let loose.
We're so hard on
We did a
ourselves.
little bit.
We let loose that night, but I mean, that was like the first tournament where
Your win.
I know we
Your
won.
first
Wow.
win is the championship.
It meant
Yeah.
so much to us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Getting off the stage and everyone's just walking up trying to congratulate us.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
It was
again,
cool.
the guys who fished were that
Yeah.
we beat. Were
some of the top,
congratulating us.
some of the guys that we've always looked up to. Like
Yeah.
I'll even say
Dude,
Lance,
yes.
including Lance.
I was saying like
Yes.
Lance. He's like, I'm so proud of you guys. I'm like, I don't think you've realized like since a young boy that we've looked up to you.
I think
More
that's the
than what you
coolest thing
know.
being in the position that we're at. Like we're 30 years old, and
I mean,
it's
we're
like
still
there's
young,
guys.
but
We're still young, but
still-
we're not super. We're still young, but we can do our own stuff now, right? Like I can.
But we learned.
You guys can get in a
from
boat
them.
and go kick their butt,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like man, we looked up to you guys. Or like when you guys were fishing, it was always like, man, I wish I could place like these guys. And it's not like
Right.
there's some, whatever, but it's
Right.
like that's where they were is that position. So
Right.
it's really cool.
Yeah, and those are the guys like if I can give a piece of advice to anybody, like when they talk, listen.
Right.
Like just listen to what they got to say.
I think in all of fishing, man. Like I think that's a really good point. I try and preach it hopefully on here, but I have people that come into the bait store that are just learning how to fish. And I listen to what they're saying and how they fish
Right.
and what they see because they're seeing it differently than I see it. And especially when someone knows more than you, it's like just take some notes. Like just listen.
Just listen.
It's
It goes a long way.
After the tournament, we had a young kid come up to us and ask us. He lives in Charlevoix. He's like, "You caught those big walleye out there?" Trying to ask us like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
how do
he
you
went up
do
to
that?
Jeff, the tournament director, and Jeff was like, "Go see those guys over there." So he came over.
kind of like
That
a
was cool.
surreal moment. You're like, now I'm giving advice to the younger generation, which is awesome.
Yeah,
It
dude,
was
and
cool.
hopefully it only goes up from here. Like this
Yeah.
is your guys' opportunity if you want it to be like this is your opportunity to keep going. Put the
Right.
hammer down. You know what I mean? And we talked about it a little bit, and it's like, well, I'm competitive, so I'm not gonna just ease up. But it is like, let's put the hammer down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just gonna say this, and like we almost kind of, I don't want to say we almost didn't fish this year, but like our sponsors paying for so Evan got a
We're
real
busy.
job.
I'm busy.
Evan got a real job this year. I don't mean real job, but
Whoa, dude! Whoa, I'm still guy.
Evan got a job where
I
he
backed
doesn't
off.
he doesn't get
Yeah.
as much pre-fish time.
Yeah.
And Evan's one of those guys, like if he's gonna do something, he wants to do it right. He wants to be there to pre-fish and this and that. So like he's kind of hemming and hawing about fishing, and then our sponsors Tyler and Adam paid for our tournament fees, and
Yeah, it's
that's
huge,
what made
dude.
us. Yeah, I mean, and like without
What's the
that, we
company?
might not even Midwest Farm Drainage, and then Adam Woodbury. He's a quality assurance manager
That's
for
awesome.
Power Home Remodeling, and a couple buddies of mine, and they're doing well for
Got us
themselves.
going.
And, yeah, and like they
Yeah.
paid for our entry fees, and that was enough of a kick in the butt to make us do it.
Yeah, we had a chat last year because we fished as co's for the National Walleye Tour up in Alpena, and I got to stay with you guys, and that was a freaking blast. And we were talking about it then, like, what's your plans for next year? And you're like, we're having fun this year, but I'm not sure really what next year is going to hold. And it was like you guys were heating up towards the end of last year, and it's like if you guys do go for it, like you got a shot,
Want to
go
do it
for it.
right too. Yeah,
Well,
again,
there's
like,
the only way
yeah.
to do it. You're not doing,
It's so hard. So a lot of those guys have a lot more time than we do.
Right.
And where it comes down to pre-fishing, Shane's like our number one because he's able to get a lot more time off than me and Crumb. And
Our Crumb's
it
boss.
helps out so much.
I don't know what his problem is, dude. Crumb's boss has a problem.
Yeah, you hear that?
Crumb and I are gonna start our own.
Crumb just says he keeps fishing, and that's why Crumb has to work so much.
Yeah.
Evan's boss. I don't know Evan's boss, so I'm not gonna say anything.
No, well, I'm in a company where it's like you get so much time off, and that's what you get.
Right.
So it looks
I
like you're
can't-
fishing.
Yeah,
That's what you're
Maybe.
doing on your time off.
that's all I do anyway. So
So I got some questions for you guys. Hot button topics. easy topics. Anything you would change about the tournament scene? And I'm not talking Michigan Walleye. I'm not specifically singling out Michigan Walleye Tour. I want to know, like, in general, because the only reason I'm asking, National Walleye Tour is going through a lot of changes. I think you're going to see some changes on the Michigan Walleye Tour side. And there's a lot of tournaments popping up that are having unique rules and unique ideas and stuff like that. Some of them work, some of them don't.
Mm-hmm. I will say about the National Walleye Tour, it stinks. You know, like I get why they're doing like you have to, qualify.
Yeah,
you know, you
professional.
Can't, if you if you want to make it professional, you have to be professional.
It stinks like if they come to Detroit, we can't hop in there because like again, we don't have the sponsors to be able to pay $10,000 just for the entry fees, then drive 16 out. You know, like we don't have that kind of sponsor.
I think there needs to be that middle ground. And to be honest with you, I think that's where places like the Michigan Walleye Tour can kind of fill in, is like that not pro but semi-pro. But I do to a point, like if I was a John Hoyer, a Dewey, and Isaac Lockich, and I signed up for a tournament and some guide signed up for a tournament, because really the National Walleye Tour,
I get it.
They don't have any pre-fish rules for the most part. So it's like you can have guys just kind of jump in. I mean, that's how Dewey kind of made his name, and in mad respect for doing that. Like, that's not easy.
Well,
to
that's
do.
The thing.
But now it's very hard for you, like you guys or us.
Right.
And I don't know if I would ever go for that, but it makes it very hard to get that opportunity.
He dipped his toes in the water,
but through MWCs and team championships and stuff like that, you can get invites. If I believe, but it does. It is. There's some big changes coming, dude. Yeah. But I think if you're going to treat it, Evan, I think got a good point. If you're going to treat it like a professional sport, it needs to be treated like a professional sport. And in Bass is the same. And Bass has done a better job, but like really, there's a lot of people that freaking walleye fish, dude. And there's a lot of places around the country where you can walleye fish. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of places for growth for walleye fishing.
There's tons.
So I hope that it kind of goes that way. You know what I mean? Because our sport needs growth, but there's a certain section of people in the industry, and not necessarily there, but just in general, where you don't want it to grow. You don't want to teach people your tricks. You don't want people to know where you're fishing or how you're fishing or stuff like that. And I just think I think there's always trade secrets. There always should be trade secrets. But if a little kid from Charlevoix wants to learn how to go catch fish, I think he has the right to go catch them.
Right.
You know? So, but I think you're right. What about boundaries?
I was going to say boundaries. That was my next thing coming up, because at least for the Michigan, not so much the national tour, because you're getting in the pro level, so it shouldn't matter. You go wherever you want, but like,
I still think it should be somewhat level.
It should be.
You're trying to show the best fishermen on a proven scale.
Right. So Michigan Walleye Tour, they pick certain areas to fish out of, like Monroe or Alpena, and I'd say Alpena for the biggest one. Like, okay, there's one of the ladies there that shows, she's like, yeah, this is like all our fishing and like what has to offer coming out of Alpena. But then you guys got guys running all the way to the Sioux. You're like, well, these guys launched out of Alpena. They didn't fish Alpena. I'm like, that's not really showing the area.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing is trying to show like what the area has to offer when it comes to fishing to a certain point. Because you don't want to be like 4
and you want to make it accessible
pounds over.
And you want to make it. It's got to be somewhat accessible to everybody. And I'm saying if the rules are there, brother, we just ran 48 miles. So like if the rules are not in place, we are going to
do it. But I would like to.
But if the rules were in place, it would make it a little bit.
The Linwood tournament was nice because they put
boundaries. They did have a boundary on that one,
and it was nice. But it was big enough to where we could get away from each other.
And I think that's
like
great.
A 50-mile boundary would be
still
fine.
It was still Saginaw Bay.
Right.
It's not Saginaw Bay. Oh, that guy.
It's not Alpena.
That guy went to Alpena.
Well, let's be honest. If it was more calm on Saturday, we fished a Saginaw Bay tournament out of Bay City, and if it was even more calm, I bet somebody would have been up in Tawas.
That's the thing. Like, we know there's big
100%.
fish over here, but what can you find close to the launch?
Yeah, just making it more of a level playing field in general. And I don't mean to put you on the spots about boundaries. I guess what I should have said is, I think we're going to see a lot of changes when it comes to there's a lot of conversation about boundaries and live bait.
Yeah.
And so I think those will be like the two biggest things we see. But I just want to see it more accessible for more people. I want to see see numbers start going up. I really want to see numbers start
taking a lot of too much away, then you're going to get less people that are going to sign up to begin with.
Yeah.
Which is not about getting less people. It's about getting more people into it. So,
And yeah,
how do you get more people? You said you get by taking
well,
more
if
away.
you take stuff away,
You take too much away.
so you take too much away, it's going to
Then
deter
you'll
people.
start-
You're just
then
going to
you'll
deter
start- there's a
people
middle
from coming
ground.
in.
There is a
Yeah,
middle ground.
there's
The middle ground's the
absolutely-
hardest thing to find.
Yeah.
The middle
But-
ground's I do not envy
So there's
anyone in
yeah,
any of
there's-
those situations.
There's
That
things
is
that we could take away that would be helpful, but then if we take away too much, it's also going to hurt us, and we're not going to have the turnout that we want.
I think boundaries would be a good middle ground because, you can actually show up in a boat that's not a nitro with an
Exactly.
80-gallon tank and still compete instead of a guy running to the Sioux and winning the tournament.
Yeah. A lot of these guys don't want to sign up because they feel like they've already lost it before they've even signed up. So, which is not how we started. I
Right.
mean,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. It'll be interesting, man. I would really like to see boat numbers go up. I know they're I don't want to say they're down all over, but they're about the same or down. It seems like
They
the
were
national
down a
ones.
touch this year for the mission.
they were
Tour.
down. Well,
Well,
they-
for
they were-
everybody, Loot was down.
they were up for season.
National
teams
was
signed
down.
up.
I mean, they were
Right.
asking for people, and they're having their own
They
thing with the
always
coach
are.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
It's another topic.
Do we have another one of these?
Nope.
We're out.
So, hey, is there the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here? This has been this has been awesome. There's been so much information into this.
I feel like we could go on
Each-
for like 3 more hours.
Well,
We might.
went
I'm gonna
on
leave
for
this
an hour
for-
and a half before this.
Yeah.
I'll leave this recording and we'll see what happens. Each one of you, advice for somebody that was in your shoes 5 years ago.
Oh.
Well, I told the kid at the thing to go buy a live.
Yeah, that
scope.
was not good advice. I was thinking
He wants to ban it. He wants
that kick him up. I'm like, okay, I learned on a 14-foot boat.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I started my grandparents had a cabin in Caseville on Lake Huron, and I just started in a 14-foot boat. My dad got my trolling motor. We put it on the back, and I would go alone out to the first break, just start casting out. That's how I started.
Yeah.
Like
dude.
you just got to
Fishing.
start.
fishing.
I started
I
on
would
the
say-
bathtub and I'm still on it.
The best advice is just to get
That's
out there.
that's super cool.
And-
Tiller now.
The only
No, it's back. It's back. We got steering on it again.
Right. Best advice: just get out there.
Yeah.
Just
And
fish.
start doing it
I
because
love that.
a lot of people just want like a handout and they're like, I want to catch fish now. I'm like, well, the only way to get to like a level that you're thinking is to start doing it, and you got to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Not necessarily yourself, but you got to learn it from either
Yeah.
other people or yourself. And you
At
just
some
gotta
point,
go
you're
do
gonna
it.
have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah,
At
you
some
gotta,
point,
you just got to do it. If you put your mind to it and just are
Yeah.
motivated, just start doing it. You'll figure it out. It'll come.
Yeah.
And it for us, I mean, starting young, we've been fishing our whole life, but it's taken us up to I'm 30 years old. It's taken me up to this point to get where I'm at now. So
Yeah.
it's all about time and how much
Yeah.
time you're willing to put into.
And to add on to that, I think, and something like my dad told me, and like, he fished a lot of tournaments, salmon, walleye, whatever, is like, you got to run your own program, and like, that's where like fishing
confidence.
and spending the time, like, you got to do your own thing. Cause again, just going back to Charlevoix, it's like, there's good fish right there, but there's 5 boats, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like doing your own thing. And like when in 2022, when the National Walleye Tour came to Detroit, I got to fish with Dewey day 2. And he was like, dude, I was kind of, picking his brain a little bit, and he was like, dude, I'm trying to get away from boats as much as I can.
Yeah. Pay attention
Yeah.
to
Like,
what
you
other
gotta do
guys
your
do.
Well,
own
and that literally goes hand in hand with what you said about like being observant,
Yeah.
but having your like, all right, I'm gonna pay attention to what the hell's going on, but like we have our own plan.
Right.
I believe in this plan.
Right.
Don't be ignorant and think that just because you're like even us, like we're always learning. Like anyone that tells us stuff, like take in any information that you can.
Yeah.
And then
Be a student, man.
Yeah.
I think
really learn
that
something every
It
day.
doesn't even matter if you think you know everything.
No.
Start
As
learning.
soon as you think, as
That's
soon
when
as
you-
you
yeah.
are the best at fishing, or as soon as you have it figured out, you might as well hang it up. Because if you
Exactly.
truly don't think you can learn anything else from anyone else, then
There's always
I just
someone
don't know
out
what.
there
Like,
that
I
has-
don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah, there's always someone out there that has something that you can learn from.
There's
I
always
always
someone
will
in
be.
a tuna can that's catching
Come
them
sit in the
better
shop.
than
If
you
you
are.
don't believe me,
Yep.
I'll personally challenge. If you don't believe me, come sit in the shop on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you'll learn something from someone that knows less than you.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about it.
That might be the only thing they know, but it was something you didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're like, this is how I did it. And I'm like, there's no way. And they show me a picture, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
I remember in Detroit that when we were coast, like I said, I fished with Dewey day 2, and we were kind of standing there at the weigh-in with him, and John Hoyer was there, and like I said something, and he started asking me questions, and he was like asking me questions, like intimately listening to what I had to say, and I was like, dude, you're the one who's a professional.
Yeah, you live there.
Right. But that's how he goes about it, and those guys, like, anything they can pick up and learn, like, from somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Just thinking you know it all is just not it.
A lot to learn. We don't know all the Great Lakes. Don't even get us going outside of the state because we don't know anything.
Right.
The best thing about it is they'll humble you. As soon as you catch your biggest fish, you'll get your biggest snag. It's like you lose all your tackle.
Yeah.
I need advice from Austin. I do.
He's got to have something.
It's hard. The big boat.
It is hard. I mean, you guys. I mean, realistically, in 5 years, it's come a long way.
It's changed so much, but the big boat thing can be really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And even we still don't have the biggest boat, or Evan doesn't have the biggest boat, or even. But we cashed our first, handful of checks and got our first couple plaques and everything, all out of a 16 or 17 foot boat.
Yeah,
like you can do it. It seems like a lot, and seems like you can't, but you can.
Yeah,
pick your tournaments.
Yeah,
And if you need anything, that's literally what we're here for. Right. Like, that's what the team at Hook One is here for. That's what these guys are here for. That's what the guys in the store are here for. It's like, that is, I think for me, that's like the best part, is to be able to have a group of guys that are actually willing to like share information. Not all of it. You're not getting waypoints. You're not getting the spawning grounds. But we will help you.
Right.
Right?
Point you in the right direction.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, even though we can send you to the same spot, tell you exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, and you can go up at the next day, and they might not be there, and none of it matters.
Yeah. Now I look like an asshole.
Right.
Even the same day, everyone fishes different too.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
We talked about that quite a bit too. We were like, I honestly, like, I have. And it's not like offense to anybody, but I don't mind telling people where I'm fishing, because like, you have to go catch them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily telling you what I'm using or how I'm jigging or how I'm fishing them. They're just over there.
Yeah. Figure it out.
But they're everywhere.
Right.
They're everywhere. All right, you guys, that is it. It is
getting late.
Not for bad.
Pretty late.
It's dark out now.
No, that was good.
So this was awesome. If you guys enjoyed it, I would love to have these guys back. Maybe we will go live next time and do a Q&A.
That'd be great.
And we'll just have some fun and basically talk fishing. So the Hook One pod is going to look a lot different from here on out, guys. We're just going to start having a lot more fun. It's going to be a lot less formal. It's been really hard to keep up on a lot of the content as well as what we've got going on. This will be out before our big tent sale. So, hey, come visit us this weekend, Friday and Saturday. We've got big sales going on at the store. Saturday morning, we've got an awesome perch charter scheduled. Again, Evan, Shane, Austin, congratulations on the championship run. Team of the year. I think my Hook One sponsorship just went up, but we are excited to have you guys. Anyway, guys, come check us out. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see what else we've got going on. You can see us on YouTube, on Instagram. We'll see you next time at the Hook One Pod. Adios.